Hello, Dr. Dyke Drummond here at the home of thehappymd.com in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Welcome to the latest episode of the Physicians on Purpose podcast. Tools so you can recognize and prevent your own burnout. Stories of burnout put to its highest and best use, and wellness leadership strategies. Everything you need to be a physician on purpose. Hello, Dyke Drummond here with a quick lesson, something I'm noticing about the healthcare ecosystem right now here in 2023 that is proving to me that we're losing a battle. Physicians are losing the battle with the business of medicine. How can I tell? Well, the latest survey in the recurring surveys that happened in 2014, 2017, last year, the latest survey of physician burnout shows 63% burnout prevalence, meaning every single day, 63% of doctors are suffering from at least one symptom of burnout, and it's affecting the way they practice and the way they feel about their career. So let's talk about the battle, because it's invisible. It's like talking to a fish about water. Let me line up the battle between the Lightworker and the Whirlwind. And this is going to be the beginning of a series where I show you some things that you might not quite understand about the choice you've made to practice in this job, if it's a stressful job for you, and additional choices that are available that might give you some degrees of freedom and be a key to you reversing the stress or the burnout that you might be feeling right now. It's been my experience that me and you, we're probably light workers. You might not notice it yourself on a day-to-day basis, but remember back to when you chose to go to medical school. I can remember I was a senior in college, right? And you and I both stood at a fork in the road there, right? Like the fork here in the woods. You had a choice to make. You could go to medical school or you could do anything else. And a whole bunch of your friends did anything else because med school basically scared them. They knew it was going to be a long, hard road. But you looked in the mirror and you said, I think I've got what it takes. And you also said, I am not going to accept a life that does not have the meaning and purpose, where I'm not able to make a difference. I want to be a helper, a healer, and I want to have purpose and meaning in my life. That's what it means to be a light worker, because right there, you allied your professional life to the forces of light in the universe as we battle specific forces of darkness, illness, suffering, death, dying, and family members' crazed attempts to deal with those things. And you also embarked upon a great journey. This light worker choice at the light worker fork in the road is something that will define your career, your practice, your life, and it will be something that you have to make compromises around when you take a job. Because once you're out in practice, here's the dynamic. The life of a doctor is very much like stepping into a whirlwind. You walk into your office, the hospital, your practice, whatever it is that you can do, and immediately things are coming at you from all directions. It's like you're in the middle of a little whirlwind. And the whirlwind has gravity. It's like a chamber of mirrors. Once you're inside the whirlwind, it holds you in its grip and it occupies all of your mind share. It's overwhelming. The whirlwind of the modern practice of medicine is overwhelming doctors. It's separating you from your practice, from your calling, by distracting you with a chaos of task overwhelm. Clicks, keystrokes, mandates, patient portals, EMR, understaffing. Short staffing is a big problem right now. In a future lesson, I'm going to show you why there's no reason to believe that it'll ever go back to the good old days of maybe having your own dedicated MA. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, the light worker calling is losing the battle to the whirlwind of your job. Let's be really clear. I divide things into four: job, practice, career, life. You have a practice that you learned in your training, a way that you like to work. You have a career. It's the path that you take as you put your practice into different job settings. But your day-to-day reality and your whirlwind is defined by the job you have right now. Now, people tell me all the time, You know, Dyke, I still love my patients, still love being a doctor, but man, I don't like this job. And I'll tell you, I hear you. In the next lesson, what I want to talk about is why you'll never win the battle with your job unless you do two things. One is step out of the whirlwind every once in a while to make sure you know what your ideal practice is and that you're working active measures to take your practice back. And two, have a real hair trigger on finding yourself a new job. Because as bad as the whirlwind is, as bad as conditions are here in 2023, I can tell you that in our communities, we're seeing doctors interview and find jobs that make them much happier that they had never imagined existed. There's a lot of innovation on the fringes these days that you can take advantage of. But for right now, take a breath. Know that you're a light worker. And hold your essence despite whatever your job is throwing at you right now. And I'll show you some more tools in our next lesson. That's it for today. The battle between your light worker essence and the whirlwind. We're losing. It's time to get back in charge. Time to exercise a new playbook. Let me show that to you in future lessons. Keep breathing and have a great rest of your day.